Hi guys, what's up? This video is going to be on standards. A lot of people's got their standards and what they're looking for in somebody. And sometimes they've got them standards set so high, they don't realize that the one they're looking for could be right under their nose and they would never know it because that standard is set so high. They looking, let's just say one of their top priority standards is money, or how well kept that person is. And I'll take it at that, how well. Now, some people, their standards is actually set that high. And because somebody else's standards is not that high, is what they don't realize, what they could be missing out on is, we'll take standards and somebody with low standards. Well, high standards, you may not have that love, that honor, that trust. And you don't know if that person's going to cheat or not because their standards are set that high. Because they know they can have anybody they want at any time. So it don't bother them to abuse a person mentally or physically to where that person, that their standards is not that high. I know abuse happens in all relationships, don't get me wrong. But the higher that standard is for that other person that they might meet, that say they find somebody meets their standards, that person might mentally abuse them, physically abuse them, and cheat on them and lie and do whatever it takes just to get their way. Where somebody with lower standards, I know abuse happens in all relationships, don't get me wrong, but the one in the lower standard category would be more than likely to love you a lot better, to cherish you a lot better, and to take care of you a lot better on what that lower standard has than what that higher standard has. I know money's important in any relationship. Because you got to be, if you're in that relationship, it's got to be 50-50. No other way, it's got to be 50-50. Just because somebody may have a minimum wage job and don't live as high as some other people does, don't mean that lower paying job person is not going to love you the same or even more, or take care of you the same as that higher standard person would. There's more to a relationship than what you can get, or more than what you can own. And a lot of people's got their standards set that high, and it's like I said, they don't realize what they're losing in that guy that's working every day at minimum wage. Now that person working at minimum wage knows what real life is about, what a relationship is about. They might have been in one that the female part was doing all the lying and cheating and expecting this, and not wanting to do nothing. Versus the one with a higher standard that's got more money coming in that may not work on that male or female. We'll say male or female on both of them. That way it covers everybody. The one with that higher, one that's got that more money coming in, or got that better job, or got this or that, they're more than likely, 99% of the time, that with the lot of money, the lot of land, the big homes, the nice cars, is more than likely at 99% going to cheat on you. To where that person with that lower standard is not going to do it, because that with the lower standard that may be working that part at minimum wage job is looking out for two things. He's looking out for himself and the family, and he's willing to work a little extra harder to make them goals stay there or get a little higher. For example, say if this person ain't making but taking home $300 a week, that's $1,200 a month. That's a little low standard. I understand that. But that guy living at $1,200 a month by himself with a family is in better shape than that guy making $4,000 or $5,000 a month, so to speak. Because this guy making that $5 grand a month knows he's got everything he wants. He can have whatever he wants. This guy at the lower standard at say at $1,200 a month, knows he's working his way up, and the only thing that's causing him to work his way up is because of his family. Now, if he's in a relationship that the other half is working, that's doubling their income, so they only have to pay half, split everything 50-50. That's a great relationship too, especially if that other person's got kids, because they're both working for the same goals: give our kids the best they can and to better themselves as a whole family as they're working their way up. Now, if they are female, I don't know many males that do it, but the female wants to stay home, keep the house, make sure the kids do what they have to. If they want to do it like that, then that gives that man of the family more incentive to work twice as hard so he can meet that standard that he was at before he got with her. And since she's going to be a stay-home mom, stay-home stepmom, whatever the case may be, you know that she's working just as hard in that house, keeping everything going, as you are out there working to make that living. I've seen relationships work like that. They've worked out great. As a matter of fact, some of my high school friends back home, that's what they do. They're actually working a minimum wage job, and their better half is staying at home taking care of all that. So it works out either way. Both of you are putting in the same amount of hours and the same amount of time in that relationship to make it what you want to make it. Versus to the one that's got all the money and everything they want, they gonna get bored. Being around you all the time, they're gonna get bored. You're gonna fight more. And that's when the mental abuse comes in, and that's when the physical abuse comes in, and nobody needs to go through any type of abuse regardless. To where that higher standard person is going to have, yeah, well, I give you everything you want, it's going to be my way. Or I'll go to somebody else, which more than likely they are going to somebody else. And on that lower standard person, he's going to say, well, I want to make my life work. I want this relationship with my better half to work. I'm going to do what it takes to make that relationship work. She stays home, she's taking care of the house, she's taking care of our kids, she's taking care of me great, I'm going to take care of her great. So that gives you a standard to work on. That gives you the incentive to do what you got to do to make everybody happy. Now, I'm just a poor country boy. I was raised in the country. I was raised with growing a garden every year to put food in the house. I worked hard every day on my job to bring money in to pay for everything. Which at that time, the girl the woman that I was with, she wanted to be a stay-home mom, which was fine. She ran the house. She made sure that when I gave her my check every week, that the money was put back for the bills. We had stuff in the house. If our car truck needed work on, if I knew how to do it, I'd done it. We didn't take our stuff to a mechanic if we didn't have to. And it worked great. But in the long run, on that relationship with me, it just came down to where it was a mutual agreement that to go our separate ways, which worked out great for me because over my lifetime, so up to now, I met a few decent women. I met one wonderful woman. She had a child. He was about a year old when I met her and got with her. We have two more handsome boys, and my life worked out with her great. Our relationships has got their ups and downs, and I'm not saying ours didn't, but it worked out for us. It equaled out for us all the way around. Even though her standards was real low, and I had to pick her self-esteem up, help her get over a lot of stuff, it also helped me in the long run too. But back to relationships on the standards. If men, women, if you got that standard set way up here, then you're more than likely not going to meet the person that you think you're looking for. When that right person, like I said, when that right person could be right under your nose and you never know it, simply because you won't lower your standard down to find somebody. Now that person that you're overlooking, that person could give you the best life ever. I've seen it happen. I really have. And those that's up there with all the money and all that, they got problems. They got severe problems. One of them is mentally abusing each other. One of them is physically abusing each other. It happens in all relationships. When them people are down at that lower standard, then you work it out. You make it work. Those with money, they don't care. Well, I find somebody else take your place. Divorce me. I'll give you a little money every month to live on. But those with the lower standards that's working their way up to where they're comfortable and want to be, if you stop and look at that a minute, well, yeah, it's lower standard. He's not the best looking in the world. He don't have this, or they don't have that, or they don't have this. Don't knock that person for that, because you are actually passing up on probably the best relationship you've ever had. So what if they working at minimum wage? They're working every day. They pay their bills. They got what they want. They're supporting their family. She's a stay-home. That person. I know a family actually that's like this. This woman had her standards set high. She didn't meet nobody. After about 10, 15 years, she dropped her standards on what she wanted in somebody, and found the perfect person for her. They've been married 30 plus years. He worked every day, getting the raises every year, but they were still at the it was still basically a little above minimum wage, but they have a nice home. He has a great family with them. It worked out perfect for them. They had their ups and downs, but it still worked out. And it can. People, lower your standards on the type person that you want, or just because you want them to have good looks, or you want them to have money, or own their place, or have this and have that. You think that's what you want, and when really, in the long run, it's not. Take a chance on that person that's a lower standard and see how it works out. I bet you're going to find a better, loving, caring relationship in that lower standard person than you will that higher standard person. Just because this guy's busting his rear end at minimum wage, don't mean he can't support a family. Don't mean he can't give you what you want. To make a relationship work and work for the long term, it's not standards. That's just what you want people to see. It's not standards. What you want is true love, true honesty, true trusting, true caring. That's what you want. And that lower standard person can give you that. I've seen it in many cases where that lower person can give you more of that. They're not going to abuse you. They're not going to physically abuse you or mentally abuse you, because they know where they're at and they're comfortable, and they just need somebody to love, somebody to love them back, somebody they can take care of. Or if both of you are working, it can be 50-50. You can still have nice things at minimum wage. It may take a little longer, but you can still have it. There's nothing stopping you from that. All because some people want this higher standard person to where they got money, they got cars, they got nice homes, land, and all this. You think that person can love you better or care for you more. That's not the case. That's not always the case. 99% of the time, that's not the case. And a lot of people don't figure that out until they done got into that relationship or done got married and realized it was a mistake. So everybody that's looking for that's got those high standards in mind and the person they're looking for, drop that. Try that lower standard person. And I can almost bet that this gonna be the best relationship you've ever had. Because you're gonna see that lower standard person's gonna love you more, gonna care for you more, gonna work 10 times as hard for you to give you what you want if you're both not working. He's gonna make sure that there's enough money there to take care of everything. If you want to be a stay-home mom, then that's great. Because that gives you run of the house. You can make sure that you put that money up every week to pay the bills. You take care of the kids. You take care of things that need to be done in the house. So that's, to me, it's what a relationship is about. Don't set your standards high. Go for that lower standard person that have to. Because like I said, you never know. Just because you got your standards set that high, the one that really wants you and loves you and cares for you is right under your nose and you just don't see it. Don't let that relationship pass by, because it could be the best relationship that ever happened to you. It's happened to me. I know. I'm not the best looking, but I work hard. Right now, it's a little tricky situation for me, but a lower standard person is not lazy. They will work. They will work the hours that it takes to take care of his house, take care of his family, and take care of the woman he loves. It's simple as that. You hear about a lot of mental abuse and physical abuse and the lower standard people. If people actually knew the facts, the people that's up here at this higher standard, that's got money, that's got these nice homes, got brand new cars and all this, they got the money to pay to keep it out of the papers. It's pure and simple. They got more problems than what you have with that lower person. It's just as simple as that. So take a chance on that person that's got that don't meet your standards, and I can almost bet you that's going to be the best relationship you ever have. That's going to be the best relationship you can get into, because that lower standard person is going to work harder and do what it takes to make that money to support that family. He's gonna do what it takes. That person's gonna do what it takes to show you how much they love you, how much they care for you, and how much they trust you, how much they cherish you. It's simple as that. So people, drop your standards on what you're looking for and take what's under your nose. I bet you'll be surprised at what you find out. Simple as that. It's just as simple as that. Them high standards don't mean nothing. That could be one of the worst relationships you ever get into, because that other person's got the money to keep it out of the papers, or got their money to buy their way out of trouble. Take that lower standard person, you'll find a better man, a better woman, a better relationship, and the love's definitely going to be better. Trusting them's definitely going to be better. Cherishing them's going to definitely be better. And honoring them will be better. On that note said, try it, drop your standards, and see what happens. You never know until you take a chance. So, good night, folks. Have a great night, a better tomorrow, and always remember, take a chance for what you see.